And welcome into In Depth with Fox Carolina Sports. Hey there, I'm Aaron Cheslock. Of course, we walk through the path of local athletes and coaches as they try to reach new heights in their particular craft. And the gentleman joining us right now certainly has achieved a great deal. Amari Rodgers, now a former Clemson wide receiver. Amari, thanks for making some time for us. Does that sound weird to you, a former Clemson wide receiver?
Yeah, it kind of does sound weird. It feels just like yesterday. I just got on campus, so now that it flew by the last 4 years. So now I'm just here, and I'm in the process. It's kind of surreal.
It's funny, when I was going through some of the old stories we've done with you, we had a couple from when you signed from Tennessee, and then really even to start your freshman year, you look like a baby compared to where you do now. You got the full
Yeah,
man beard going on. It's you're a different cat. So
yeah,
I want to touch on last season to start here. A great senior year for you, but not the way you wanted it to end. You've done a lot of winning in your life. Uh,
hmm
when you have a tough loss like there was to Ohio State, how long did that resonate with you? How long did it take for you to kind of move past it? Like, okay, I got to get on to the next chapter now.
yeah. It hurt. It hurt for sure. Especially knowing I was a senior team captain, and we didn't get it done. It hurt for a little bit for sure. But I had to go right into training for the combine and stuff like a week after. So I kind of had to flip that switch and not let it affect my train or anything. So it hurt for sure. It still hurts. Just knowing that I had a chance to get a natty going out. But now I'm on to the next level, and hopefully I can win a Super Bowl.
Draft is just days away. What's the feeling? I know you're talking to teams and it's busy, but in the back of your mind, when you lay down, put your head on a pillow at night, are you nervous? Are you anxious? Do you just want to get the whole thing over with?
Yeah, it's kind of all of them, to be honest. Because I have a lot of interviews. I have like 2 or 3 interviews a day, so I get nervous of those, like making sure I'm doing everything right in the interviews. Then I'm anxious because I don't know at all where I'm gonna end up. So thinking about all the places I can end up and end up living for the next 4 years and on, it's kind of nerve wracking. So just thinking about all of that in one, it's I'm kind of anxious and ready to get it over with. So I'm excited. I'm embracing the whole process too, though.
I've talked to a bunch of guys who have gone through this process over the years, and I'm always curious, without naming a team, what's the weirdest thing you've been asked throughout this entire process? I've heard things, would you rather be a cat or a dog, or just weird
Yeah.
things like that they're trying to get into your psyche. What's the weirdest thing that you've been asked?
Shoot, I've been lucky. I haven't even been asked any weird questions, to be honest. But recently, the strangest thing that I had been asked was like they asked me to do the alphabet and put numbers. So like A equals 1, and then B equals 2, and I had to do all the way through the alphabet and without messing up. And if I messed up, I had to start over. So I had to do that like 3 times. I had never done that before, so it was challenging, but it was different for sure.
That's I'm not sure I could do that, to be honest with you. You know, we're going to touch back on what you're going through right now, but I always think it's interesting to walk the path of guys that have reached the top of their craft like you have, to figure out what makes you tick, the journey that you've gone on to get here. And I want to start from your early life. In Knoxville is where you grew up. Obviously, everyone knows your dad uh, back at home. What was that like growing up? Because I can imagine, when you're immersed in football all the
Mhm.
time, it's easy to go that path, but it could also be easy to just be like, what, I don't want anything to do with this.
Mhm.
It's just it's all around me. What was that experience like for you, and how long were you known as T. Martin's kid?
Really since the beginning, to be honest. Ever since I started playing, everybody knew I was this kid, and everybody had high expectations for me. So I really carried that all the way through my career. Everybody expecting the best out of me just because who my father is and stuff like that. So I've always had that chip on my shoulder because I know I have high expectations, and I know everybody expects, if not more than what my dad achieved. So that's really my mindset. Every single day I go to work out, I'm trying to get 1% better because I'm trying to achieve more than he did. He tells me that every day. If you want to be better than me, you got to do more than I did. So, that's really what I'm out here grinding for. Just to, be the best me as possible, be the best Amari Rodgers, and not worry about, everybody saying that, T-Minus my dad and stuff like that. Just be myself and build my own legacy. So that's really been my goal.
but never was a reluctancy at any point. You just kind of saw the game, you loved the game, and obviously it's
Yeah,
your blood.
if anything, I wanted to play more because I just wanted to prove the doubters wrong. Because it was still people that thought I just got everything just because of who he was too. So just proving everybody wrong that I'm a valuable player. I'm a great athlete. I'm a great receiver, and I'm gonna continue doing that.
What other sports did you play growing up, and who were your favorite teams?
I grew up playing basketball, baseball until I was like 10, but mainly all the way up into high school, I played basketball and football. But my favorite teams growing up in football was the Falcons. I loved the Falcons growing up. And in basketball, I was wherever LeBron was. So he's the GOAT. So, I'm going where he goes.
It's funny. I'm a Wizards fan, so I'm a
Oh, yeah.
Boston boy, and we're in this weird fan dynamic where we were taught before the Ravens showed up to hate the Colts because they left Baltimore, but we were
Yeah.
told to love the Wizards even though they were the Baltimore Bullets and they moved out. But I've always had a gripe with LeBron because we had the Gilbert Arenas and the Karan Butler team.
Yeah.
LeBron just mopped the floor with them every single year. It was brutal. Young LeBron was a different cat. A lot of people
Yeah.
remember
He
him.
was.
My goodness. All right. So from an early on stage, you knew you wanted to play football. Obviously, you start out and you played very well in high school, a two-time Mr. Football Award recipient in Tennessee. So the talent's there. You're getting offers all over the country. Your dad's coaching at Southern Cal. Why did you end up going to Clemson?
To be honest, Clemson was my dream school growing up. When I was a kid, the smallest things catch your attention. And I saw them run down the hill. I was like, dang, I want to do that one day. So I kept up with them. And then as I got older, I started to realize they were really a great program. Coach Sweeney did a great job graduating his players. He was a receiver coach at heart. So I knew if I went there, I would be coach, pretty much have two position coaches with him and Coach Grisham and Coach Scott when I first got there. So that was really my mindset. I wanted to go to Clemson the whole time, but they didn't offer me until after my junior year. And I was committed to USC my whole junior year until Clemson offered me. And I had talked to my dad about it. It was a tough conversation, but he understood. He's a father at the end of the day. He still supported me. He wanted the best for me. So it really wasn't that hard of a decision because I knew that my dad was still in my corner for me, and he was going. He just wanted the best thing for me.
What was that first time running down the hill like? I've seen that not go well, where
Oh,
guys
yeah.
decline and then it kind of levels out halfway through.
Yeah, it's difficult. I definitely took my time down it every single time. I was not trying to be on the news or anything.
Yeah, you don't want to be the guy that trips down there for sure.
Right.
It's hard not to link you and T together. T. Higgins, of course, another star receiver from Clemson. Now just had a tremendous rookie season with Cincinnati. But you guys commit to Clemson. I think it was both the same year on National Signing Day. You guys played very close together. Was there any discussion between you two before you guys pulled the trigger? Did he know where you were going to go? Did you know? Was there any influence one way or the other?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely, tagged, and especially when we both started being recruited heavy by Clemson. We knew that was the elite program, and we knew, we wanted to go do something different. So that's really what we said. We want to do something different, and go somewhere out of state, away from Tennessee. Start a legacy, and build something, and show the guys in Tennessee that it's talent there. And if you just believe in yourself, just grind it out, you can do anything you want to. So that's really me and T's goal from the beginning, just to be the example for the little kids in Knoxville that has a dream and just wants to play in the NFL. So that's really what we wanted to do, and we did it. So it's really a blessing that we were able to achieve that and be the example.
You show up into a packed receivers room as a freshman. You still managed to make your mark. Early on, you showed that you could do a bunch of different things and do it at a high level. So certainly you've already made your mark. Then that sophomore year, you guys are as talented of a team as there's ever been. The rings say best ever on there. So when you look at what that season was like, was there ever any doubt? Was there ever any speed bumps where the national championship was, maybe not in doubt, but, maybe not as clear of a picture as it was? What stands out to you the most about that sophomore season?
Just the leaders that we had, Christian Wilkins, Cleveland Ferrell, Austin Bryant, those guys, they came back and they didn't have to. They could have been first round picks the year before and they came back because they wanted to win a national championship. So the way they led and kept us focused through the whole year, just keep us going every single game. Just remind us that, we can't lose because, if we want to win national championship, we can't lose because people really don't really respect Clemson's schedule like that as it is. So if we lose, they're just going to knock us out. So that was really our mindset, just attacking each game like it's the national championship. It doesn't matter if it's Furman or Bama at the end of the season. So they just did a great job leading us through that whole year and just kept us locked in.
Every time I talk to somebody from that team, I ask them the most memorable thing before the Natty. It's always the Syracuse game. What was the feeling like during that last drive there? Obviously, T makes that huge catch on fourth down, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
Gets the go-ahead touchdown there at the end, but that was nerve-wracking when Trevor goes down.
Yeah, it was, to be honest. That was like the week after, Kelly decided to leave too. So, we had a lot of pressure going into that game. People were saying, they're making the quarterback change. So, they got to play well, or it's like they made the wrong decision. So we get in the game and he gets knocked out. We're like, whoa, what are we going to do? But, Coach Sweeney and the leaders on the team did a good job of keeping us locked in. Just making sure we keep the goal at hand in our mind. Because, some player can get knocked down any second. He's just always next man up. And that's really our mentality. So we just went in there and just balled with Chase Bryce. He carried us through. So that was really a fun game for sure.
It's interesting, from my perspective, the most, I don't want to say, frustrating, but you're just the amount of time it takes to lead up to the game is before the opener and then before the bowl game, because we've just got weeks to talk about it. And I know you guys get tired of it, answering the same questions. To be honest with you, we get tired of asking the same questions. We've just got to fill Sportscast or fill the newspaper sports section up day in and day out. But, we're talking about the Ohio State game, that entire process. You guys win pretty handily, and then it's going up against Alabama, who everyone's talking about as the greatest team ever. And despite the fact that you guys were as dominant, if not more, for a good chunk of that season, you guys go in there and you blow the doors off them. What's the feeling like going into that game? And then once you start to see you guys pull away, was there a moment of, okay, we're going to do this and maybe it's going to be easier than we thought?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we had confidence, like ever since we found out we were going to play Bama, because we heard it all year. Everybody saying Bama this, Bama's the best team. So, we really had a chip on our shoulder. We wanted a piece of them. We wanted to, match ourselves up against the best of the best to see how we were. So we were ready for sure. We had the confidence. And the night before, our guest speaker was Jerry Rice. So, that was a Hall of Famer, one of the best receivers to ever play. So for me, that got me ready because, he's very fired up. He has a lot of energy. He came in there, gave us a great speech. So, after that, we really were locked in. And I feel like we just had confidence. And since the first snap, I never doubted we were going to lose that game. I always thought we were going to win. And once we started, clicking at all cylinders, we just took off with it. And, our momentum just carried us through the whole game. But, that was definitely the funnest game I ever played in, just the way how smooth it was, especially being on the biggest stage. It was just a great moment.
You win a national championship as a sophomore. Your dad won one as a junior. Were there any memorable moments that he pulled you aside and said, hey, take this in, this is what could happen before the game? Or is there a moment after the game where you talk to him where, something that stays with you?
Yeah, for sure. He was just in my head. He was like, hey, I got one. Now it's your turn. He was just saying that. And he was just like, don't treat it like a moment that's bigger than, just go in there, treat it like a regular game. I don't think too much of the stage and everything. It's just football at the end of the day. So, I just went out there and just played my ball. I really wasn't even nervous for real. I thought I was going to be super nervous, but, I really wasn't. I was confident in our game plan. I was confident in my teammates, and I knew the man beside me was going to do what they need to do for us to get the win. So we just went out there and did that.
We'll know that back and forth going on between you and your dad. You ever give him a little business that you won one a year before he did?
Nah. But shoot, this past year, I was telling him, I'm trying to get two. I'm trying to get one up on you. So, he was in my ear about that, telling me, I got to get one up on him, say I had a better career than him. So, I didn't get it done, but, we still joke around about it still.
When, everything's going great for you. You're one of the top weapons on one of the top offenses in the country. Everyone knows who you are. I'm sure at that point, did life start to change for you when, literally everyone knows who Amari Rodgers is at that point?
Not really. I may have got more followers or whatever, but I've always stayed the same. I always told myself my parents did a good job growing up, just telling myself to stay myself, never change, never change from Amari. Be yourself, be caring, be loving, show love to all those who show love to you. And that's really been my mindset ever since I stepped on college campus, is that, I always show love to the fans. When they ask me for an autograph, I'm signing it because, they support me. So it's only right that I show them a little love back. So that's really my mindset. I'm really genuine guy. So I'm not one of those that's going to throw people off and stuff like that. So I embrace all the love. I just love it. I appreciate it, to be honest.
I'd agree with that, unless you're a defender trying to get you down over the middle. I'm not sure you're so kind in that regard. This is where you kind of hit a speed bump here. 2019, you tear your ACL in March. You miss the spring. That feeling, I can remember talking to you when you came back, but, the initial thought when you tear your ACL, and it's not quite the injury that it was 5-6 years ago. We've seen guys bounce back very quickly, play on a brace and have success. What was the feeling like right when it happened? And then, we'll go into your incredible recovery here in a couple minutes. But, was there doubt? Was there despair? Was it always that, or did the doctor tell you, hey, you got a path here that if you do everything right, you can get back quicker than many think?
Yeah, for sure. Right when the injury happened, I hate not playing. So I was like, immediately, I was like, how can I get back as fast as possible? And then, I asked them, they said I wasn't going to be back until like October, November. And I was like, all right, I'll be back in September or August. And I told them I set that goal from the beginning. And, that's really what drove me through my whole process. It's just that I wanted to be back really for the Syracuse game because the year before when we almost lost in 18, I had a terrible game. I muffed 2 punts. I had a couple drops. So I wanted to be back for their games to show that's not the player that I was. And I played a great game versus them when I came back. So that was really what drove me through the whole process.
To put it into perspective for folks, the normal recovery time is 8 to 10 months. Amari made it back in 5. What were those workouts like?
It was intense. I really pushed and drove myself to the extreme, to be honest. I would go and rehab in the morning while they were lifting, do stuff. And then while they ran, I would get on the treadmill in a little machine. I forgot what it's called, but it's like a gravity thing where you can't really feel the pressure on your knees. So I would run under the pool. And then I'd come back in the afternoon after classes and lunch. So I do that twice. And then I also paid out of pocket to go somewhere else to help me as well. So I was really doing 3 rehab sessions a day until I took the weekends off. So that was really just me attacking the process and just my mindset, just how driven and motivated I am to be the best. I wouldn't let anything stop me.
I mean, what goes on with the rest of your life at that point? I mean, people forget that, obviously you're D1 football players, and when you're at a program like Clemson, that kind of is all encompassing as is, but you are still human. You want to have a girlfriend, you want to go out to eat, you want to hang out with friends, that kind of stuff. Does all that get put on the back burner? Do you have any free time at that point?
No, I still have free time. Even in the afternoon sessions, I would be done at like 4 or 5. So I still had the whole night to, hang out with teammates and stuff like that. But in the morning it was like working a 9 to 5. I was grinding and working, trying to get back on the field with my brothers. So that's really my mindset. But once I was done, I'm unplugging, hanging out with my dog, hanging out with my teammates and stuff like that. So, I still stayed normal. I didn't let it carry me away.
That's it's pretty incredible when you think about the amount of time that goes into recovering, especially when you play a position like you do and you play the way that you do. I mean, you're cutting all over the field all the time. You really can't do that without a solid ACL. So, you come back in just 5 months. And not only do you come back, you just referenced it, your second game back against Syracuse, you ball out 2 big touchdowns, and you guys knock off Syracuse in a game that I know meant a ton to you. Moving on to your junior year, you guys have a pretty solid year. You have a tremendous year when you come back, but all the hype going into that game against LSU, and then it doesn't go the way you guys wanted. I know the loss of Syracuse earlier in your career hurt a lot. But all that hype going into the LSU game and have it play out the way it did, was that the toughest loss you've experienced?
The toughest loss was probably my last one, the Ohio State game, just knowing it was the end of my career. But that was probably second for sure. Just knowing we were so close to, another undefeated season. We came short. But we had a great game plan too. We were confident going into that game as well. It just didn't go our way. That happens. That's part of football. So I just grew from it. Learned from it and took it into my senior season.
Uh, you know, Many thought at that point going into that game, or really I think it was before the bowl game there, that you were going to go pro. You'd done enough. You'd shown what you're capable of doing on the football field. What was the reasoning for coming back for your senior season?
My knee. I want to show that take the knee brace off and show that I can play full speed. Cut, run great routes without a knee brace, and show that the injury didn't affect my play. So that's really why I wanted to come back, just to show that I came back better from the injury and that it's not slowing me down. So that's really what I want to do, and I feel like I did that.
Did you guys have conversations with scouts and that kind of stuff, where it's like, okay, if you come out, yeah, you'll make a team, but it might not be as high as you would expect to go otherwise?
I didn't even talk to coaches. Like, I didn't even tell them. Like, they knew I was coming back from the beginning. Like, I didn't even get any projections or anything. I was locked in. I knew I was coming back. So I really didn't even talk to any scouts or anything after my junior year, because I knew I was coming back for sure. So I didn't really want to entertain any of that.
Uh, okay, so you announce you're coming back. You guys get right back, and you have a good chunk of the team on the way back too. Trevor and Travis are both back for another year, and then COVID hits. At
Mm-hmm.
that point, did you have any second thoughts of, okay, I don't even know if we're gonna have a season now. I don't know. Everyone in every walk of life kind of had the world stop on a dime. But for you guys in particular to have it happen, in the spring, as you guys are starting to ramp up and figure out what kind of team you're going to be, did you have second thoughts at that point? Like, okay, maybe I should have just went pro.
Not about pro. I had second thoughts about the season. I didn't. At first, if I'm being honest, I didn't think we were gonna have one. Just how hard Corona hit the world. Like you said, just stopped on a dime. And nobody was able to do anything. We had to stay away from the facility in Clemson for 2 months. I was in Knoxville training myself for 2 months. So I was like, dang, there's no way it's gonna be a season, because we didn't even get back until like July. So we had like a couple of weeks to work out, and then we hopped straight into camp. But it was a period there where I definitely thought we wasn't going to have a season.
When you see that Trevor and Travis are still back, obviously those are two of the other leaders of the team. What were the conversations like between the players, where you're like, okay, we're gonna go full throttle here, and then a bunch of guys start the "we want to play" movement, and then that starts to pick up steam. Just can you walk us through that timeline a little bit, where you're obviously going back and forth? What's the best option for me in terms of getting to the NFL? But I know you're a team committed guy, that you certainly don't want to abandon those guys if they're going to end up coming back. Well, what's going through your head at that point, and kind of the back and forth between you and your teammates?
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to play because I knew it was my last year. So I knew I wanted to play in the team. We all wanted to play. It wasn't nobody that opted out this year. We all wanted to play, but we all met together, and wanted to make sure that all the protocols were right. So we could play and have a full season the right way without a lot of people getting corona and stuff like that, and then stopping us in the middle of the season. So at the beginning of the summer, we all just came together and we told the coaches we just want to make sure we have the right protocols and stuff like that, and then we'll be good to go. They put the right protocols in, and through the whole year, we barely had any positive COVID tests. So that credits to Clemson for putting everything together the right way and keeping us safe the whole season, so that we can go out there and play ball.
What point did it start to really click that not only this is going to happen, this system seems like it's going to work? And I can imagine, when you played the amount of football you have, and you've gone through so many seasons, to have such a change and to have things done so differently has got to be jarring. Can you put just the entire season in perspective, playing in a COVID era, and how different it was? I mean, you guys go to Florida State, then you don't even have a game. It's just a
Yeah.
completely different world that you guys are playing in.
Yeah, it was completely different. Like you said, like we had to have our team meetings in the indoor facility, in the indoor turf field, and spread everybody out. Like, that was our team meeting room. Like, I never saw our team meeting room the whole season. It was crazy. So we had to spread out for the team meetings, wearing masks 24/7, other than when we're practicing. And even when we're on the sideline, we have to put up our gaiters. It's just crazy. It was weird, getting tested three, 4 times a week. We didn't get the nose test. Thankfully, we got the spit test, so it wasn't that bad. But still getting tested 4, 4 times a week was kind of nerve wracking. But, it was part of it. We had to lock in and just accept that, Corona was part of our lives now and it was part of the season. But we didn't let that affect us. So we still played ball whenever we could. And, we did our thing still.
When you think about your Clemson career, I know that the losses are going to stand out. And certainly the last game against Ohio State has to be one that does stand out because the hopes were so high and, you guys had never lost to them. Many people were picking you to win. And then, few thought that the game would turn out the way it did. What was the feeling in the locker room after, and what was the message that you, Trevor, Travis, the leaders of that team were trying to express to the other guys?
It was sad, it was heartbreaking just to know, especially, me, Trevor, Travis, those guys, Jackson Carmen, knowing that our career was over in college. It was sad. I shed a few tears, but I was also embracing my teammates that still want to be there and letting them know that, don't go out like this, just dedicate and, motivate yourself to, go out with another natty and don't go out like this, just motivating them and just letting them know that, they got to be the leaders next year because now the alphas on the offense are gone. So somebody has to step up and lead that offense. So just telling the young guys to lock in, start grinding right away because the process is a whole year long. You can't take 3 weeks off and then expect to be in shape for spring ball. You just got to get right back into the grind and get your body right, get your skills right to attack next season.
For a guy like you, I'm always curious how you approach pro day because you have so much great tape. You've shown exactly what you can do. You're doing running back drills out there just to add extra dimension to your game. What do you think you showed NFL scouts and coaches that they couldn't already figure out by watching you break away from an entire defense?
I think I showed my true speed for sure. I wanted to show my 40 speed. I ran 4.45. So I checked that box, and then my versatility, like you said, just out the backfield in the slot, and then I played outside receiver my first 2 years at Clemson too, so they got film on that as well. So just being able to show different ways I can get the ball and make plays. And I went in the backfield, ran routes in the slot and outside too. So and then I did punt return afterwards. So just showing everything I can do, just showing the scouts that I'm a valuable player and I can help a team win.
We know what you can do on the field. What are teams getting with Amari Rodgers that doesn't necessarily show up on a game tape?
Yeah, for sure. Just somebody that's the hardest worker in this draft. I don't think anybody outworks me. That's my mindset every single day. I come to get 1% better, and I'm not trying to waste any days because you can't waste that many, especially with this type of career. So that's my mindset. I'm coming and attacking and competing every single day to get better to help my team win. So I feel like my mindset when it comes to that is second to none. I don't think anybody has that approach like I do.
So you're a Falcons fan growing up. You're a Southern boy. Can you play anywhere in the country? What if Buffalo drafts you and you got to play in 6-8 inches of snow every week? You gonna be able to show up then?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I can play anywhere. Any team that picks me up, but it's definitely gonna be an adjustment for sure because I haven't lived up north at all.
The deli sandwiches are better. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
A heck of a legacy you're leaving at Clemson, Amari. Just to rattle off some of the numbers here: 181 catches, more than 2,140 receiving yards, 15 touchdowns, over 500 yards, punt return, score there as well. And then you look at the trophy case: 4 straight ACC championships, 4 straight years in the college football playoff, a national championship win in 2018. Another appearance there. What is going to stand out the most to you when you look back on your time at Clemson?
Just how I was able to learn how to win and how to succeed. And Coach Swinney and the coaching staff did a great job, pushing us to make sure we knew what it took and what it looked like to be a winner and to win championships. So I know what it takes to win. I know what it looks like. I'm just going to take that with me to the next level.
We've seen you do so much well on the field, catching the ball, running after the catch, fighting through contact, all that stuff. You've played in some of the most pressure-packed games that you can imagine, really at any level. And then we've seen how you've reacted to an injury and battled back. You've gone through big wins. You've gone through tough losses and you've bounced back. How much of a leg up do you think your resume as far as football experience already from playing in a program like Clemson, where you're in so many big games and having the spotlight on you as much as you did. How much of a leg up does that give you on a lot of these guys in the draft?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it does give me a leg up because, I've won at the highest level, even in high school. I won a state championship as well. So, I've been winning, most of my career. So just knowing that I know what it looks like and I know what it takes, and, I've been there, I feel like that definitely gives me an advantage whenever I go to a team. I know, long seasons, some teams, they may only have 10 games or 12 games. We're used to playing 14 or 15 a year. So that's really not even a regular season in the league. So I feel like just the fact that we're able to play that many games each year, it kind of preparing me for the NFL schedule.
You know, you're not the biggest guy coming out of the draft at the receiver position, but that's never really stopped you before, and you've kind of shown that you can still make plays at really every position there. But when you think about where you're going to end up going in the NFL draft, what is the most unnerving part? Not knowing what team you're going to go to, not knowing what part of the country you're going to live in, who the other guys are on the team. What are you thinking about the most as you go through this process? Like, all right, I just want to have the answer to that question.
I just want to know who I'm going to. I want to know where I'm going because, ultimately, I'm a grown man now. So, I got to pay bills, find a house, do all that stuff. So I'm kind of thinking about all of that. I hate moving. I hate packing all my stuff and moving. So, I just got to think about how I'm going to be able to do that and get settled in whatever city I get drafted to. But mostly just what team I'm going to go to because, it's 32 teams. So you really don't have any idea until the day that you get drafted. So that's kind of nerve wracking, but, it's part of the process.
Is there anybody that you're leaning on who's gone through the process that's, kind of put your mind at ease, that kind of thing, a few things, what to expect? I mean, Clemson's got a laundry list of guys that are playing in the NFL right now. Is there anyone that you're leaning on in that respect?
Really just trying to grab as much as I can from everybody I played with, all my former teammates that's in the league right now, because, they all went through the whole process. So just gathering as much as I can, as far as, how to do interviews, as far as approach to, pro day to, we didn't have a combine, but even they were saying combine and just interviews and stuff like that too. So just getting everything I can from them. So, whenever I'm put in front of a team in an interview, I'm ready. Or, whenever, I get to a team, I'm ready because they told me what to expect. So, just gathering that information.
What, you look at these mock drafts, so you're not really sure what's real, what's not. What is the round you expect to be called in, and what's the round that you feel like you should be called in?
I for sure think the second round, for sure. Second round, no doubt.
Move on to some fun stuff here, Amari. I appreciate the time. We're getting set to wrap up here. You play with a lot of great receivers. You're certainly among them. Who has the best hands of any receiver that you've played with?
Me. No, if I play with, I'll say Hunter Renfro for sure.
Hunter Renfro, best hands?
Uh,
When you think about practices at Clemson, you guys are all, alphas and type A personalities. And, there's even guys like you that are humble. There's still a little bit of ego on there when you strap that helmet on.
Sure.
Who's the best trash talker on both sides of the ball? Who are the guys that were really going at it that the rest of the team would just kind of stand back and be like, all right, let me hear what they got to say here. Just guys that are battling day in, day out.
Yeah, for sure. I say Matt Barkhorst, the lineman. He's definitely the most trash talker on the offense. Matt is, and then on defense, it was DK. It was DK. It was really nobody else. Like nobody else said. James Kelsey would say something every day now and then, but really DK really just carried the swagger of the defense. So it was him for sure. He definitely got me going in practice.
When you think back to kind of the older days, when we covered Christian and Cleveland and all those guys, the quote unquote Power Rangers, they're a pretty tight knit unit. Where did they have good stuff back and forth with the offensive line?
Yeah. Early on in my career, Christian for sure. Christian and Cleveland and Austin, all three of them, you don't want to be on the field with them at the same time because if they make a play, you're gonna know, and they're gonna keep letting you know until you make a play on them. So, those are definitely. I was talking about this past year, but my whole career, those three are definitely the biggest trash talkers I played with.
who's the funniest guy on the team that we don't know about from any of
The,
your
fun,
years?
the funniest, Lin J. Dixon for sure. Yeah, he's really funny.
Best athlete in your family?
Best athlete in my family, me. You looking at him
If I
for
asked
sure.
other members of your family, would they say the same thing?
Hey, I hope.
Uh, when you think about the this process leading up to it, as you know, you're getting set to go into the draft, what's the thing that that someone said to you, or maybe some advice that you've gotten from somebody that's going to stay with you as you know you're sitting there on that Thursday or Friday night and you're seeing the picks go and you're just waiting, you're waiting. I can only imagine the anxiety is going to be at the
Yeah.
highest level at that point. What are you going to keep repeating to yourself to kind of stay sane at that point?
Just belief, really. That's really my thing. I've carried that with me. Even when I came back with from my injury, I used to put on my tape on my arms, keep faith. So that's really my slogan, just to keep the faith. Even if I don't go where I think I'm gonna go, just keep the faith. I just need an opportunity. So that's really my mindset. Just give me an opportunity, I'm gonna make it worth your while. So that's really gonna keep staying in my mind. Just keep that faith and keep believing in myself and my abilities. Whenever I get that chance, go and show the world what I can do.
Do you feel like you're kind of showing up at the NFL at the perfect time with the way that offenses are run right now? That your skill set fits so well with what a lot of people want to do. Everyone wants guys to be adaptable. There's few more adaptable than Amari Rodgers, and
Yeah.
the quickness, the speed. Everyone's running the spread. Is this kind of like the perfect situation, almost regardless of where you go?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it. A lot of guys are looking for the hybrid type of player that I am. Debo Samuels, the Curtis Samuels, all those guys, that can get in the backfield, get handouts, keep running routes out of the backfield, get jet sweeps and run routes really well too. People love those guys. So I feel like I bring all those aspects to the game and I bring a great work ethic too. So I'm just going to continue to get better. So I'm just excited.
Know you're a student of the game. Is there a guy you've seen in the pros that either you want to meet on the offensive side of the ball or on the defensive side of the ball that you've envisioned going up against? If I got to see this guy, I'd want, excuse me, if I got to see this guy, I couldn't wait to do this.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Both of my idols, as far as the receiver position, I met in the last month. Steve Smith was my idol growing up. I met him at the pro day. And then Jarvis Landry was my idol, in high school. And he was training when I was training that. So I got to see him almost every single day. So it was crazy just being able to meet them and just asking them questions and getting advice from them that'll carry me throughout my whole career.
Amari, your journey's about to reach its next chapter. When Clemson fans think of Amari Rodgers, what's the thing you want to stand out, the thing you want them to remember most about your time?
Just that I'm not just that I just wasn't a football player, and that they knew me as a great man off the field too. Like I said earlier, just showing love to the fans all the time, and also on the field, just being humble and genuine, and just showing my emotions out there on my sleeve. Just that I came to work every single day, and it was noticed. I really didn't let anybody outwork me. I just came to work every single day, and then on Saturdays I just put it all out on the field for the fans to show. So just the fact that I didn't just come here just to play football and get out of here. I came here to win championships and play football, but also I came here to build relationships with people that I know that support me and stuff too. So that's really what I want them to know.
Well, from my perspective, you were a joy to cover. Obviously fun to watch on the field, but you never turned down an interview, and we never seemed to get the scripted answers from you. You always spoke from the heart, and you could tell when a guy is actually giving you some real answers there. So
Sure.
certainly wish you the best as a Ravens fan.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Definitely
Hey, that would be perfect.
black and gold, but obviously wherever you go, you're going to make an immediate impact. Amari Rodgers, thank you so much for joining us here. Best of luck in the coming days leading up to the NFL draft, and hopefully we can catch up with you soon after.
For sure. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Amari Rodgers, one of the top wide receivers to ever play at Clemson University. Just look at the record books. Now set to be a star in the NFL. Thank you for joining us here on In Depth with Fox Carolina Sports. Another great guest coming for you next week. Have a great one.